I have date night with my girlfriend. We're looking at all the options, and me being the smart guy that I am, I picked the one that looks like a thriller. You know, the poster's all dark, it looks scary, whatever. I'm like, babe, let's go watch that one. Of course, me, chess brain, just assuming that she's gonna want to find comfort in me in those very tense scenes. So we go watch it, and man, I was shocked. Last Breath. This movie is directed by Alex Parkinson. It's written by him, Michelle LaFortune, and David Brooks. Last Breath is about the real story. This happened in 2012 of the rescue of a deep sea diver who is trapped hundreds of feet below the ocean's surface. That's just crazy. I mean, just imagine being in complete darkness in the ocean. You don't know if there's Megalodon. You don't know if the Kukui's there. You don't know what the hell is there. And you're on your own? Oh, no. No. Our main players are Chris Lemons, who's played by Finn Cole. I was just so happy to see him because I haven't seen him since Peaky Blinders. He, of course, plays Michael Shelby. And he plays this character who's, as he's walking through the boat, every single person he walks by, he says hi, he says hello, he says good morning with a bright smile on his face. Chris Lemons, he is a diver who was trapped there under the sea, which actually throughout the film, what he's really good at showing is a lot of soulfulness in his eyes. There's youth there, there's a light there. So when you have those intense scenes, and even in shots where he's got this huge helmet, you would think it would be hard to visually see what's going on with his face. It just wasn't. I think he was able to communicate really well with his eyes. The other two main players being Woody Harrelson, who's Duncan, he's his fellow diver, and Simu Liu as David Yuasa, and he's this other member of the diving team. Him and Chris were the ones that went into the ocean. Woody Harrelson's character, Duncan, was their main line of support. He would give them tether, he would oxygenate their helmets, and he would speak to them, basically coaching them as they are doing their dives, maybe saying, hey, you're breathing too hard, slow it down for me, please. And what I like the most about this film, on top of its technical achievements, was the heart. Are these the deepest characters? No. They're not, but there's strong dialogue and there's a smart use of editing that gets us to really feel emotionally connected to them. There's a specific scene where it's just impactful. It's short, maybe 2 minutes, where he's speaking to David and it hits you. His determination to get his diver back, you understand it completely. There are scenes where we cut away from Chris's perspective down there under the sea after he's left alone, where we cut away to all the hopes, all of the dreams that he has. I think that scene just hits me like a truck. When you watch the movie, you understand what I'm saying. The editor was really smart in when he placed that scene. I was also a fan of the cinematography. Obviously, the shots down there deep in the ocean have very limited light. You have to portray that, right? And the limited use of it and the framing composition, I liked it. I was a fan of it. And the key players in this are the editor, wow, and the sound design, wower. They both deserve to be heavily commended. The sound design, though, like, you just hear the weight of the ship in every single scene, almost every single scene. By the way, this film was shot in the real life boat where this incident happened in 2012. The boat is called Bibi Topaz. So you feel the weight through the sound. It's very rare that I feel this. You feel the ocean, the water, you hear it, man. You hear the storm that happens in the film. And there are very creative choices that are smart from the sound designer. I thought they did great. There's a specific scene where tension is building the most, and you feel the swell of this moment. And what happens is it feels like there was a knife that cut the sound. And it's silent. But oh my, like, I was like, oh, that was great. It just made that moment even more impactful. A less seasoned sound designer would have kept sound in that moment, but this guy decided to cut it. And there was various moments throughout the film that had smart sound design choices throughout it. But for me, that was just the highlight. And of course, the editor, what he did, which I really liked, is throughout the film include actual documentation, actual video footage of the crew stepping into the tanks, of the crew stepping into the ocean, which of course was captured by a robot who's designed to be there with the divers. And of course there was footage of the divers themselves. Some people would call this lazy, but I actually really like this approach because it reminded me that these are real people, that real people went through this, that Chris Lemons really survived this. It's just to any other human being, it's an immensely impossible survival story. How did this guy make it out alive? Scientists to this day can't explain it, which I think just really speaks to his will, to God, and of course to the incident itself and the story there. It's very powerful, but I really liked it. It reminded me of A Society of Snow, where in A Society of Snow, the film based upon the Uruguayan plane crash that happened all those decades ago, when somebody passed away, the film director would put the actual person's name and the year they passed away, just reminding us like, hey, these are real people. They went through this. And so them incorporating actual documentation of this story, it felt for me like, hey, these people are real. Yes, this film is from Hollywood, but the story certainly isn't. I liked it a lot. And like I said, Finn Cole brought this light to Chris's character. So when you see that start to go away, it does hit you. I also like this movie because it teaches me about jobs that I never knew about. The film is not scared to take away screen time just so we get footage of those extra little checks that's important to the profession. So it's telling us how high the stakes are, why so many procedures are being taken place, and at the same time I'm feeling educated. You know what I'm saying? But overall, I do recommend this film. Go check it out in the theaters, especially because of the sound design. I felt it in the theaters. You really gotta be there for the sound. And it's really a crazy story, but I really like this movie. I'm feeling a strong B on this one. This film is rated PG-13. There's only one brief use of strong language. Other than that, you don't really see much of that. And of course, the situation itself can be frightening, can be quite intense. So just a heads up. But that's pretty much it. Guys, let me know what you thought about Last Breath. I'm very excited to see what you have to say about this one. Please comment, please subscribe, support the channel, man. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.